Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome to 6:15 in the morning on a Saturday, and I've actually got a week off. I took a week off work, so don't know if I'm going to be doing a crap load of videos. Might just be relaxing a lot, taking care of my hands, blah blah blah. But anyway, this morning we are going to be playing some Kerbal Space Program after about a week of just playing Factorio sea base non-stop because I was really into that, but we're going to try and spread out back into our mega base, back into our KSP and get those stuff going. So episode 4, and we have got explore the moon. So this one is going to be a bit risky because you have to actually get back and all that sort of stuff. It would be nice if I could just send a probe out there, and that's actually what I was just planning to do, sending a probe to do a flyby, but considering how much money this mission gives, maybe we will try and actually get a Kerbal to do a flyby of the moon and then come back. So let's go ahead and let's build it. Now this mission pays a lot, so we can afford to throw a lot of money at this rocket, which is going to be fun. So let's just get the standard stuff done here. Oh, whoop, hold on a sec. Escape, cancel, push back. Okay, we need to turn off sticky keys for KSP. I always forget I have to do that. I probably could, no. I could figure out how to use sticky keys in this particular case if I really needed to, but I like the little one. I think it's the same size, but I have a feeling there might be less drag when we're landing. I don't know if that's just a weird idea, but I have that feeling. Yeah. Now, let me get this right, because I'm not sure, but I believe that there is low orbit and there is high orbit around Kerbin, and then there's just the moon. I think that's right. Let me just double check this. Saving continue. Yes. We can sort of tell based on the archives here. So Kerbin, in space low and in space high. So we're missing an EVA report from in space low, but we got in space high. I don't know if there's another situation that I haven't uncovered, but a total of 29. Oh, so 29 from in space high. That's a lot. 29. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to worry too much. This is all about the moon right now. So that is what we're going to be doing. Yeah. I suppose if there was another thing there, it probably wouldn't even tell you, so that's not that helpful, but let's have a go here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get a heat shield, and that's a tiny one. Give me a proper heat shield. And yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the data from orbit around the moon, and then we are just going to suck it. We're going to get our Kerbal to do an EVA and grab it and just head on back, I guess. Service bay. Don't really need a service bay. We'll need a service bay when we get bigger. When we get bigger rockets, because you could put all of the science inside a single service bay, which is awesome. But for now, we're just going to do this. And I'm actually going to do 2 of these, not only to balance the rocket, but because I do believe we were missing some science from at least one place. There we go. Thermometer goes there. So this is the kind of thing you would put inside the storage bay, this, and then you can store the experiments in it. But I don't think we need to do that, because the Kerbals themselves can retrieve the science and then store them in here. The only problem is you can't reset the experiments. You can only use it once unless you've got a scientist on board, which we can't because we need a pilot, and bloody oath, this cough, man. Yeah, without a pilot, then bad things would happen. Alright, maybe I should have taken a cough drop before this. Bloody thing. Alright, so what do we want? Want that. And we're only doing a flyby, actually, so I feel like we can get away with just a smaller tank with a terrier on it. And all we have to do is get in orbit of the moon, and that's it. And then we're going to get down to the main stage, which is ooh. Oh, we don't have solar panels yet. Huh. That's going to be somewhat of a pain. I kind of really wanted to have solar panels. Tracking station. Oh, not the tracking station, the signs. Do we want to try and risk this without solar panels? I feel like we can, because if I put batteries on the damn thing, I'm pretty sure they will be fully charged when we go up. So that means that we can put like 8 batteries on here. 8 batteries I feel like is overkill, but we don't have solar panels, so I feel like it's fine. Now we're going to be going for a bit of a skiddy rocket here, because I don't believe we have the bigger fuel tanks. No, we don't. Go like that. So there's a very skinny rocket. Let's do another one. And then we do... Do we want to do like 3 stages? What was the ISP for this? So this is our base ground level one, so let's do this. Let's do this. I was going to have some sort of asparagus staging on this, but let's just do this instead. Now this is kind of a long rocket, I guess. And we don't have the... Do we have the better... No, we don't. We don't want that to be 8. We want that to be 4, I guess. And then we want that to be there. Now, I'm not sure if this can actually make it to the moon. I think it probably will be able to make it to the moon and back. What we can do is we can Alt-Tab and go to KSP Delta V map, which is the single most important thing you'll ever need to look at as part of KSP. And there's a whole bunch of fancy new ones that have been created, but let's just open the old school one that I was using years and years and years ago. So that tells me that we need about 7,000, I think. 7,000. Ah, my phone is updating. Yeah, I'll finish those later. So what have we got? Cost. I feel like that's the actual cost. Delta V. So we got about 5,500 at the moment, which I'm not sure I'm happy with, to be honest. We don't have any fuel lines. So I don't feel like I could asparagus stage this sort of stuff. No. No. I don't have any bigger engines, so I'm not sure what I can do about that. Now, are we actually able to make it to the moon? Oh, no, wait, sorry. So that's about 5,000 to get to a moon transfer, and then 80 to be captured, and then another 230 to go into low orbit, so... So it's about 6,000 to get to the moon and back from a high orbit. Which is a little bit dicey. So what we do here is just add another fuel tank onto this guy, because that's the guy that's really going to be struggling. That doesn't really help us that much. Fuel tank there. I feel like these boosters are the problem. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go nuts here. Absolutely nuts. Now I'm pretty sure I got struts so far. So I'm pretty sure we can handle this. Swivel. There we go, 6.9. That is what I'm talking about. And then we do another one here to the other side. And that should hold those guys steady and stop them from spinning all over the place. And there we go. Now we just need some big old winglets. And we should be good. So the idea is these four start up. Need a plus here to drop these. And at the same time, I guess we start this. Merge these two. Merge these two. And hopefully that should be enough. So we need about 3.2 to get to Kerbin orbit. So hopefully these and this stage right here should be able to get us into orbit. And then we got this stage in the middle, which will be able to get us into a transfer to the moon. And then we could use this stage to micromanage and then transfer us back. Because transferring back to Kerbin is pretty easy. You don't need a lot of fuel to do that. So anyway, let's have a look at our pilots. They're both at the same amount of XP, so we're just going to get Jebediah to go out there because he is the favorite. So this is Moon Orbiter, and it should be Mun Orbiter, I guess. Let's just double check the mission. Fly by the moon. So we don't even need to get in an orbit around the moon, we just need to fly by it. Cover or transfer any signs. Finger of vessel that flew by the moon. Okay. Excellent. Save and continue. Now let's just double check this science so I know where to do the other. God damn, I'm always clicking on the wrong one. You need to double check this science so we can double check. So flying high. We need mystery goo. Where did I screw up the mystery goo? In space high. Okay, in space high. Yep. And we could do something fancy like skipping the orbit phase and just going straight to the moon. But that takes a lot of faffing to actually figure out. Locked or invalid parts? Ha! God, what a piece of crap. Let's delete that. And this one, yeah, let's delete that. So this is our moon orbiter. Let's launch that. And this I can't remember how much this rocket cost us. It was probably like 50 grand or something like that. So, full speed, SAS. Electric charge, 850. And these guys, whoop, he's got a full charge, 100. So, they're all fully charged at the start. So let's go up and let's make sure we do this right. Alright. So, we may have reached a problem. Okay. Revert flight, revert to launch. Okay. That's fine. We need to redo the staging a little bit. Let's get this engine firing at the same time. Alrighty, there we go. Now we've got liftoff. Hopefully this is enough. We got enough fuel, so these guys should burn for ages. Maybe that was kind of the problem. I put too much fuel, so this thing's too heavy. But yeah, I would have preferred not to have to activate this middle engine. Let's turn that one off. Alright, we're still going up. I will turn that engine back on as soon as we disengage these guys. So let's get, I think I remember the orbital maneuver properly. You go up to about 300 meters per second, and then you tilt over until you get to about, oh, I can't remember. We're not tilting at all. I don't think we're tilting. There we go. So there we go. We're doing a good job. We're slow, but then again, we got a lot of crap. And we got this middle stage, and the middle stage will really be able to move us to get us places. So I'm not too worried about that, but my god, I really want to unlock the bigger rockets so we don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. The bigger rockets just make things so much easier. It's like playing Factorio and running a base based on the coal-powered miners. That's how bad it is. Okay, so now we're actually just going to slow these down. We're actually going to start turning. Okay. Speed these guys back up. You can see our apoapsis at the top right is already 40k. So these guys, I built these boosters way too big. That's the problem. But they're going to really get us where we need to go. That's maybe too much of a boost. Let's put them back up to full power again. Start moving over in this direction. Start clearing away our periapsis. Now we should hit an apoapsis of 70. Man, we're getting close to that time to apoapsis mark. That's getting close to a minute. We don't want that to be quite a minute yet. Alright, these guys are almost done. I'd prefer to drop them. Okay, now we need to activate this guy. And then we drop these. You need to activate this guy first, otherwise these guys just float off. And I don't know if we're high enough that the gravity wouldn't cause the top one to smash down into us. That might be a thing that happens. So now, this is a swivel engine, but since our engine isn't working, we're actually just using the electric charge in the capsule to turn us, which is not the best idea because that's using up electric charge, but we're alright. I think we're alright. So now we want to keep this about a minute, I think. So let's start. And this is how you get into an orbit entirely without having to do maneuver nodes or anything like that. So now our apoapsis is going up. We don't want that. We want our apoapsis to stay about the same. We don't want to be wasting fuel if we don't need to. Still going up a bit. Now it's going down. Excellent. Okay. So we're below a minute. That's not good. So we need to put this guy up to full. That's not good, actually. We need to start raising our apoapsis. I don't want that to get close to a minute. Let's raise it. Let's raise it. Is that gonna... That's going to slow it down. We want to boost it up. There we go. It's boosting up a little bit. Boosting up. That's going to raise our apoapsis, but we definitely don't want to go past our apoapsis. That's absolutely one thing that we do not want to do. We just don't. It's bad. If you're trying to get into orbit and you're past your apoapsis, it tends to be a lot harder. You tend to use up a lot more fuel. We're already probably using excess fuel because we went past a minute. So the 10 seconds of me falling asleep is going to have a corresponding amount of fuel that we're going to have to use up. Okay. There we go. Bit of an explosion there, but that's because the engine was turning on as soon as I disconnected that. Usually you wouldn't turn the engine on straight away. You'd disconnect, you'd let it float away, and you'd let the, obviously the velocity of the detractors or whatever, the disconnectors, push it away. Alright, here we are. Done. Done. Okay. So we used up a bit more fuel than I would have thought. I'd like this thing to be completely full for the transfer. It's about half full. But I still feel like we're okay. So, we're in orbit. We're in low orbit, I think. So can we do this? No, it was high orbit, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was high orbit. Let's go back. Let's go back to the space center. Now, let's double check that. Because I think it was high orbit, but I really can't remember. Archives, mystery, goo. In space. Yeah, it was in space high. Okay. Go to the tracking station. Jump back in. Okay, here's the first time where we actually have to get jiggy with the maneuver nodes. So, because we went directly to the right, we end up with a nice orbit, which is pretty much the same as the moon. So that's the reason why you always go directly right when you're shooting up, because then you get in a pretty direct orbit with the moon. We might be off by a couple of degrees. Okay, so this guy's deal. You can't set maneuver nodes? Please tell me we can set maneuver nodes. I need to be able to set maneuver nodes to get back to be able to do this. I don't think I can manage it without a maneuver node. Or maybe I could, but I don't like to think about. I could have sworn I did. Pilots. I can't imagine you need to be level 2 to do maneuver nodes, because there's no way to get this guy to level 2 without going outside of Kerbin. Okay. No. No. Tracking station upgraded required for flight planning. Okay. Let's do that. Flight planning available. I don't know if flight planning means maneuver nodes. I'm going to assume that it does. Okay. Okay, let's go back. Maybe it was just... Still going to do maneuver nodes. How do I do... Oh. Sorry. Click on the damn thing. Hopefully I didn't waste all that money for nothing. There we go. It's blue. So it needs to be blue for me to do maneuver nodes. Okay, excellent. So that is what we needed to do. So let's do a maneuver out here. Push this out. Okay. So it's going past the moon. So drag that like a little bit. Let's right click, set as target. Okay, so when we're here on this approach, the moon is over there. So we're going to drag this circle around. And see if we can make that a little bit more efficient. So we don't have to boost as much. Go Well, there's a flyby. Closest approach. 2,000. Moon periapsis. 1.8. I feel like that's alright. I feel like that should be good enough. And then that actually gets us on a free return around to here. And then once we're down, we just need to do a little bit of a boost to get back. So this, I'm pretty sure this will count as fly by the moon. Anywhere nearby the moon. Alright, how much is this going to cost us? 847 vessel. 847. So we got 2,000 left in our... No, we got 950 left in our current stage, and then 2,000 in the next stage. It's 847, so we can afford to burn a little bit higher. Whoa. Okay. That's getting us really close. Unfortunately, it's also slingshotting us out of out of Kerbin's orbit entirely, which is not what you want to do. So let's do this anyway, and we can do a corrective burn afterwards, maybe at this periapsis to slow us down so we get slingshotted a little bit, but not out of Kerbin, because we don't want to get slingshotted out of Kerbin. This is actually dangerous, because we can get into the situation where we... I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. Okay, let's feed that back there. 1.1 million. Okay. I like to get closer, but I don't want to be slingshotted to the point, because the problem is you can get to the point where you've got a massive orbit around Kerbin, and closing that massive orbit down to land again is a pain in the ass. That's why landing on the moon is such a pain in the ass, because getting off the moon, getting back into a Kerbin orbit, a lot of the time you end up with a massive orbit, and closing that orbit down is not fun. So anyway, that's going to be the deal. So, let's keep an eye on our fuel. Fuel is still good. Did that get back up to 850? I feel like it did. I don't have any solar, so I don't understand how that could have happened. But I feel like it did. When I went back to the space thing and then came back, I feel like it regenerated. Not that I'm complaining about that, but it does seem a little bit dodgy. Anyway. Maybe there is a solar panel somewhere on this thing. Let's turn SAS off. Okay, so there's definitely a 0 there. So it's not regenerating at all. Let's turn SAS on again. Let's turn back around to that maneuver node. Once we get a pilot, he can do that automatically for us, but for now... Okay. Yeah. Let's get rid of this surface. We don't need that. We want the rendezvous. And we get rid of orbital. I feel like I need to jig these things again to turn off stuff so they only have the bare essentials necessary. And anyway. Yeah, rendezvous. I had a lot more things in here. Select a target. Body. Might have to do something about that at some point. Because we should have node interception things in here somewhere. Rendezvous. Available. So if we install that. No, we don't want that. Time to maneuver burn, that's what we want. And we want that. And we don't want node burn halftime. We don't care about the node burn halftime. So this one goes below that. Okay, that's what I want. So, Let's go and speed this up a bit. Not too fast. Okay. So now we've got a nice 30-second countdown. I'm pretty sure I'm on point with this maneuver node, but doesn't really matter anyway. Whoa. We needed the Delta V. 853. I'd like it on here though. Maybe I'll need to add that as well. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now we just watch this node burn time. I like this one better because it gives you decimal places rather than this one. This one you can really time it nice and tight. And usually it does need to be really nice and tight. So anyway, we're keeping on the maneuver node. I feel like the maneuver node is going a little bit south, a little bit off. Oh, let's keep a look at the burn time. Oh, pressed the wrong button. I pressed Z instead of X. That's not good. So we went a little bit over. A little bit second over. Okay, what has that done? We actually got closer to the moon than we were planning, which is fine. And then our periapsis went from like 600,000 to 1.9 million. But that's fine. After we pass by the moon, we'll go up to here and then we'll short our periapsis down. When you're this far out, shorting out 1.9 million, oh, yeah, I think that should be okay. I think that should be doable on what engines we have. So, okay. Where's the thing that tells us where we are? Surface. Okay, situation in space low. That's what we want. Oh, I'm going to have to mess with these. I'll mess with them outside. Actually, what we'll do is I'll put a brake here and I'll mess with them. And alrighty, I think we are good to go. I honestly didn't change a lot in these guys. I moved them around so there's a lot more space. So when we set up a node module, this can expand and we still got surface and rendezvous over here. And it's all good. I don't know why this is suddenly got all fat. There we go. That should be fun. So anyway, we're currently in upper space. Space high. We can tell because the situation down here says in space high. 15 science. That's not too bad. Do we have an EVA? Do we have an EVA? No, we don't. So what you do here is you store experiments, and then you go back in, and then you can jump out whenever you want to do another EVA. Crew report. Don't need to do that. So yeah, you got to go out and you got to do that store experiment stuff, and then that's what makes it so you can do unlimited EVAs, unlimited crew reports, unlimited blah blah blah, whatever you want. Just keep taking them out and putting them back in and storing them. Okay, so we are on a course. So I am going to warp over to there. And then we will be doing a flyby of the moon. Okay. There we are. We're on course with the moon. Where is the moon anyway? No, that's the Earth. Where's the moon? There it is. That is beautiful. The first time we're going past the moon. So let's get the stuff out of the way. So mystery goo. High over the moon. Excellent. So that tells us that our experiments are all going to be beautiful. 50 science. There we go. Log pressure data. 24. This is going to be able to buy us a lot of stuff. We can probably get solar, and we can probably get something else like the bigger engines, maybe. Not sure. Now we could fly in low over the moon and get some more science, but we can't reset these guys, unfortunately. It just doesn't work. We need a scientist, and we need a lot more. Okay, crew report. Here we go. It's already talking about landing. Yeah, that's not going to happen this mission. I'm sorry, buddy. This is like, I don't know what the Apollo mission was that did the first keep experiments. What we do is we take all the data and then store it. Okay. So, now this gets a little bit tricky here. So let go. Now, as long as we remember that in space everything is relative, or, you know, Newton's laws and all that shit, then we should be fine. Okay, so collect data, yes. Collect data, yes. Now, yes. Oh, go on, go on, go on. The problem is he just sort of bounces off things. So we might be able to go close to the moon and do some log data and pressure data, but it doesn't really matter. Collect data. Yep. Yep. So you need a scientist to actually reset that, which is fine. At least, no, I don't know if we can even close those doors. So anyway, that should be everything. And I got a funny feeling I left some particular type of science at home, but I can't remember what it is. So anyway, let's go back in. We've done our EVA report. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Let's do another F grab. Store experiments. EVA report while high in space over the moon already stored in this module. Okay, so we did do one. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, it's saying I need to dump that experiment, which is the space EVA deal. Alright, let's close those doors. And that's it. Mission done. Gather scientific data from the moon. So we need to recover or transmit it. So I'm going to recover it because it's worth more. And then return to Kerbin. So, there we go. Let's just fly to here. So we can have a nice close look at the moon. See, there we go. That's pretty close. Give us a couple more episodes and we will be landing on that thing. Although we'll probably land on the other moon first, Minmus, because even though it's further away, it's a lot easier to land on. This thing is a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to land on, and it's even more of a pain in the ass to get off because it's got a lot more gravity. But Minmus, which is all the way out there, is a lot smaller, so it's a lot easier. Okay, let's continue to warp. And are we out? Are we out yet? Yes, we are. So it automatically stops the speed boost. I think it stops the speed boost. But it slows down the speed boost. Signal strength is low. Very low. And only 9%. We need to set up a satellite network at some point, but for now, warp here. And thanks to our wonderful instruments, we don't even need to be in the map view. Okay, SAS retrograde. And this guy can turn the rocket around for me. I think I figured out why this electric charge is recharging. The engines recharge it. So when you turn the engine on, it will recharge the electric charge. So that makes me feel a lot less worried about needing to get solar panels. Okay, so you're definitely retrograde. Excellent. So let's turn that on a little bit. Now we want this to get down to about 30 kilometers for a nice clean insertion. And we might actually be able to do it all on this one tank. Whoa. Oh, not quite. Just didn't manage to do it. Yeah, let's dump it. Oh, down to 13. Okie dokie, that's fine. So now we just zoom along and we try and figure out where the Earth is before we... Oh, shit. Okay, there's the Earth. I like to play a game where I try and find out where the Earth is before I get to the Earth, and usually I fail. So, we spin, and then we do that. And I may have mentioned this before, but the reason we do that is so that it doesn't, because you can disconnect it and then it gets shoved up against you and just sort of stuck there, and it's very hard to get rid of it at that point because you can't, it's not hooked up to you anymore. Okay, our heat shield is giving us a little bit of complaints. I think we were going in at like 13k periapsis, which means it's a little bit steeper than we normally would have, which may explain why this heat shield is heating up a little bit more, but I'm not worried. Not worried in the slightest. We seem to be doing okay. I'm not actually sure, is a full bar bad or is an empty bar bad? I've never been able to work that out. I have a feeling that I don't know, it's going down, so I feel like a full bar is bad, but it always seems to go like whoop, straight up to a full bar and then sort of stay there. I updated my iPhone, so now it's asking me to do update steps. Okay, do my update steps while I'm entering Kerbin's atmosphere. I am like an awesome astronaut. Okay, so let's speed this up a bit. Parachute open. Now we're over the desert as well, so we can do a dirt sample and stuff like that. And come on, there we go. Parachute opened the last second, exactly where it needed to be. Two-factor authentication. How about no? That's right. I just told the internet I'm not using two-factor authentication on my iPhone, but I'm sure I'll still be fine. Go on. Get down there. Get down there. Stupid thing. I should probably have dropped the heat shield off. Well, if you drop the heat shield off, then you go slower. Which is maybe not, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. What are we on? Crew report. Ooh, we get 1.5 science. Let's do an EVA. Oh, fall off. Okay, EVA report. We can't do surface samples yet. We can plant a flag, but screw that for a joke. I don't want to plant a flag on this stupid thing. Board, cover vessel. And now we are going to see all of the science. Do not want to share my analytics with bloody, whatchamacallit, some SMSs as well. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of science. Okay. High over the moon, high over Kerbin. 50 science. The materials study is an absolute beast. You start getting hundreds of science when you start going to other planets and landing on the moon and doing stuff like that. Recovered a lot of stuff. And look at our funds as well. Completing that contract, whoa, that's a lot of money. So, world first milestones. Escape the gravitational influence of the moon, blah, blah, blah. We didn't really escape the gravitational influence of Kerbin, because the moon is in the influence of Kerbin, and we were just orbiting the moon. So, yeah, it's a bit of a... not really true, but yeah, that's fine. Explore the moon. Yep. Contract. Yep. Excellent. And contract complete. So that's a very nice bonus. And 15 science on top of that. So now 268. Okay. I'm a little bit less concerned about solar, actually. Heavy rocketry. Wait a sec. Have we got the fuel tanks for the heavy rocketry? No, they're over here. Propulsion systems. Don't give a shit about these. These are the heavy rockets. We need a lot of stuff, though. We need this. Well, I like that, I should say. I would really like that. What do we need to get us to a low orbit around the moon? Because that's going to be our next mission. It's going to be a low orbit around the moon. So I feel like I don't want to screw around. So this is, we need that. Done. We need some bigger fuel systems. Done. We also need a converter. like a big old converter to move over. See this right here, command module, this is the 3-person command module, which I was talking about. So that we need that so we can get a scientist in there and an engineer to start repacking parachutes. Miniaturization, advanced flight control, not even going to get close to that. That's for when you start having to do in-space docking and shit like that, where you need to get the RCS. Where is this? Are we already unlocked? I feel like we haven't unlocked it. I want the converter between the big fuel tanks and the small fuel tanks. That's what I want. Structural. Maybe we have. Yeah, we have. Okay. So this is the converter between the big and the small. So now we can do a big... Where's my fuel tank? So we can do a big fuel tank and convert that to a small fuel tank, which is going to be really important for our rocket to be aerodynamic, because the kickoff stage is now going to be a big one. And what we also want, what I really, really wanted, is going to be the extra coupling. So what we might actually do, just to get that extra coupling, because I feel like we can get it here, is put a whole bunch of this shit and just do some launchpad stuff. But I'm not sure if we've done launchpad stuff. Oh, we didn't miss any science. That's good. Launch. Because we're only missing like 2 science. 7.5. That's what I'm talking about. So we did miss that guy. Okay. Observe mystery go. 0.7. I'll take it. Close the doors. Log temperature 2.4. And pressure data 3.6. Man, even that pressure data thing I think starts to give you like 100 plus once you actually get into other planets' atmospheres. It just becomes a beast at that point. Okay, 14 science. Excellent. Research and development. Now, what did we decide we needed here? You, I don't care about you. I really want those. I really want those. Let's double check. Aeronautics, no. Landing, no. We'll need landing. Although, do I already have landing legs? I can't remember if these are advanced landing legs. Micro landing strut. I don't really want those. Those are pretty shit. RCS, we don't need. Not for landing on the moon or landing on Minmus, we don't need. Space exploration. Electrics. Electrics would be extremely useful. Definitely would be useful. We can do without them for now. So the big things we need are this, radial decouplers, because they greatly increase our chance of getting to stuff. So getting the boosters away from us successfully. And yeah, they're just good. So I think what we're going to do next episode is we're going to go out and we're going to go and get near Minmus. And with these enhanced rockets, we should be easily able to get near Minmus, do a bit of a flyby, maybe a low orbit sort of thing. We could have definitely done low orbit to the moon this time, because we had lots of rocket fuel left over. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to unlock landing, get us some landing legs, and then we're also going to unlock electrics. And I think those are the main 2 that we need. Ladders. Mobility enhancer. I gotta love Kerbal Space Program. But yeah, so we need those 2 upgrades. I don't think we really need anything else here. These are just nice for docking and stuff like that. And yeah, once we get those, we can actually land on the moon and Minmus. So that's going to be it. Next episode, fly by Minmus. Oh god, it wants us to land on the moon before we go anywhere near Minmus. Not sure we can do that. I need the legs, and I think I would really like to have the solar as well before we do that. So we're going to have to get some more science. Yeah, so anyway, thank you. What is this? Rendezvous 2 vessels. Screw that for a joke. I'm gonna rendezvous anything. Oh, we got rescue missions. Hello. This is the shit right here. I love rescue missions. There's not any annoying stuff like testing, or you just see this is the guy, this is exactly where the guy is, and you go and rescue him. And I reckon we can rescue all 3 of them. Can we rescue all 3 of them in one mission? I reckon we can. And I'm going to try and do that next time. Because we got to the freaking moon. So I reckon we can rescue all of them in one mission. So that's going to be the next mission, actually. Rescuing all 3 of these guys in one mission. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys later.